Assalamu alaikum and a very warm welcome to all of our wonderful viewers who have tuned in to P2E World, and you are watching a special Ramzan transmission of Dine with World. And if you followed on in the rest of the episodes, we are working with some very special and talented chefs of Serena Hotel Islamabad that show us various recipes and dishes that we can make for Seher and for Iftar. And today we have a very special chef with us in the kitchen. His name is Chef Ali, and he has been baking goodies for over 30 years now, and for the past 15 years he has been working at the patisserie of Serena Hotel Islamabad, and along with him his wonderful assistant Sadaf is going to be helping us. So welcome to the show, Chef and Sadaf. I hope you guys are doing good, and so let's get started. I'm sure all of the viewers will be very attracted and happy to see that finally we are making some sweet goodies for them. So Chef, what is the first dish that we are making?
We making going to Moroccan cookies first.
Okay, great.
We start now.
Okay, and before our chef starts making these cookies, I hope you guys have your pens and your notepads ready. We are moving on to the recipe card. The ingredients for the Moroccan cookies are butter 200 grams, icing sugar 100 grams, eggs 1, flour 250 grams, almond powder 100 grams, and rose water 2 teaspoons. Guys, I hope you've written all the ingredients down, and without wasting any more time, we will see how these cookies are made. So Chef, what is the first step?
First step, we put inside the bowl butter.
Okay.
Room temperature, not frozen.
Okay.
Then we put icing sugar.
Okay.
Mix with spoon, machine, little bit creamy.
Okay. And I guess we will really get that creamy consistency once we mix it in a machine, or is that possible with the hand as well? So guys, make sure that you mix it just like our chef is doing. It's a very smooth and a very velvety, creamy consistency.
Now we add the eggs.
Okay. And we are adding 1 egg?
Yes.
Okay. So guys, once you've mixed the butter and the icing sugar and you see that the consistency is very smooth, add in 1 egg. So you guys have to make sure that the batter and all the ingredients for the dough or the cake dough or whatever you're making is as smooth as our chef is making it right now. And you can see how perfectly he's whisking all of the ingredients together. This is a very simple recipe. Everybody loves baking sweet things like cakes, biscuits, and this is a perfect recipe that you can feed your kids, especially if some of your kids are fasting. This is a perfect treat for them.
Now we add rose water.
Okay. So instead of the vanilla essence, we're using rose water.
Yes.
Okay, great. So this is a great tip. It's a very different recipe. I really hope you guys try it at home. And our expert chef, he is sharing some wonderful recipes with us that we can make for our loved ones, whether it's for Sehri or for Iftar or even on a regular day.
Now we all the dry in flour, almond powder.
Okay.
Everything.
So we have to use all-purpose flour
Yeah.
for baking. And this is almond powder?
Almond powder and
Okay.
flour.
So guys, and now our chef is adding all of the dry ingredients in to the batter that he has prepared. He's added a generous amount of all-purpose flour, some almond powder, and now he's mixing all of these ingredients together. And the best part about this recipe is that all of the ingredients are easily available, and it's a very unique way to bake cookies. And the rose water is basically going to add in a lot of flavor into our cookies. It's going to be very different as compared to the cookies that we bake with a little bit of vanilla essence. But for these cookies, we are using rose water.
We make small ball,
Okay.
put it in the tray.
And chef, is this butter paper?
This is silicone paper.
Okay. So guys, in a matter of no time, you can see that our chef has prepared a wonderful cookie dough, and now he's going to bake some very delicious Moroccan cookies for us. The ingredients were very simple, and we can see that they already look very beautiful. And instead of the usual vanilla essence, our chef has used some rose water. It's a very different way in which you can bake cookies. I'm sure your kids are going to love them. You can have them with tea. Before Sehri, you can have them with coffee, or in Aftari, you can serve it to your guests. And chef, how long does it take to bake these cookies?
This 15 minutes in 150 degree.
Okay, and do we have to preheat the oven before we pop these into the
Yes.
oven? Okay. And how long should we preheat the oven for?
1 hour before you
Okay.
preheat the oven. After you bake the cookies inside.
At 150 degrees.
After 150 degrees, 15 minutes.
Okay, so guys, this is such an easy recipe, and along with that, it's something very unique as well. I'm sure most of us have not tried these biscuits, and they will turn out absolutely amazing. So all you have to do is that while you're preparing the cookie dough, make sure that you preheat the oven for at least an hour at 150 degrees centigrade, and once the oven is hot enough, pop these biscuits into the oven and bake them for about 15 minutes. And now our chef is adding the final step of placing a few almonds on top of each cookie. This is really going to just enhance the beauty and add more flavor into our cookies. And chef, how long can we store the biscuits once they're made?
You can 1 week easily.
Okay. And do we have to
Because you
refrigerate them?
nicely close on top,
Okay.
the air not go inside.
Okay, so in an airtight container, make sure you store all of these cookies. And once you store these cookies into an airtight container, you can easily eat them for at least the next week. And they're very easy to make. It's a very different, it's a very yummy recipe. I'm sure all of you will definitely like it. And remember that we are always open to your suggestions, to your feedback, and do tell us how you're enjoying the show. And if you're trying out the recipes that we are showcasing to you in this holy month of the Ramzan. And I'm sure our chef is done
Now
with
we're going to bake
Okay.
15 minutes.
at 150 degrees.
चालू पे रखो.
And the moment that we've all been waiting for is here. Our 15 minutes are done, and our cookies have been baked to perfection. And in a minute, you will be able to see that how beautiful our cookies look, and that they've risen as well. And now, once our cookies have been baked to perfection, our chef is just drizzling some sugar syrup on top of each cookie, and the aroma that is coming from these biscuits is very tempting. And like you've seen, our talented chef has made a work of art with these cookies. The ingredients were very simple and it's not complicated. It was very easy to make. All you have to do is make a perfect dough and then preheat your oven for at least an hour at 150 degrees centigrade and bake these cookies for 15 minutes. And our cookies are done. And now our chef is taking the cookies out of the oven tray. And they look absolutely beautiful. There's a lovely color. It's a golden brown color and they look very crisp. I'm sure they're going to taste extremely yummy as well. And guys, you can see how beautiful our cookies look. This is a wonderful recipe. Our chef prepared Moroccan cookies for us today in the kitchen, and this is a great treat. You can serve it to your guests for iftari, you can eat it with tea for seher, and it's a wonderful recipe that Chef Ali has shared with us. I really hope that you guys do try this recipe out and give us your feedback. Write to us, tell us if you're trying the recipes out and how they're turning out for you. And you can see that with a little bit of ingredients, the quantity of the cookies that have been baked is very generous. And like our chef said, that you can always store them in an airtight container, and you'll be good to go for at least a week. You can see how beautiful our cookies look, and Chef Ali has shared a wonderful recipe with us, and we are very grateful to him. And let's see what he bakes for us after the break. Welcome after the break, guys, and as you know, we have a special Ramzan transmission of Dine with World that is going on in this holy month of Ramzan. And today in the kitchen we have the privilege of working with a very good patisserie chef, Chef Ali, and he's teaching us some wonderful recipes that we can bake in this holy month. And in the first part of the show, he baked some wonderful Moroccan cookies, and the aroma that is coming from these cookies is very tempting, and they smell very delicious. It is a perfect snack, and as well as that, in Sehri, if you want to eat something light, you can eat these with tea. And if you really want to treat your kids, if they're fasting, you can bake these cookies for them. And without wasting any more time, we will move on to the next part of the show, where our chef is going to make something very tasty for us again. So chef, what are we making for the second part of the show?
Second part is a pistachio roll.
Okay, great. So for all the people who love eating nuts and pistachios, this is the perfect recipe for you. So before our chef starts, we are moving on to the recipe card. I hope you note down all of the ingredients. The ingredients for the pistachio rolls are filo pastry, 5 pieces, rose water, 1 teaspoon, butter, 100 grams, pistachio nuts, 500 grams, and sugar syrup. Now that we're back from the recipe card, you can see all of the ingredients are very simple. So let's see how our chef teaches us to make these wonderful, yummy pastries.
This is the filo pastry.
Okay. And chef, is this easily available in the grocery store?
This is, yes, easy. You find any store.
Okay.
Local. This is imported.
Okay. So we can use any form of filo pastry that we want. Okay, so guys, the best part about this recipe is that you can easily buy the pastries from anywhere, and you can either use imported ones. It's totally up to you. And it is a very different recipe. If you're a fan of baking, this is a perfect recipe for you. Our chef is using pistachio nuts for the filling of the pastries, and I'm sure once the pastries have been baked, it will taste amazing.
Some melted butter, some ice, sugar syrup inside that pistachio.
Okay.
Because
And chef, have you melted the butter in a pan, or was it left at room temperature to melt on itself?
this is I melted in micro oven.
Okay. And if we want to melt some butter, how much time should we give it in the micro?
Only 5-6 seconds.
Okay, so guys, the best thing about melting this butter is that you don't have to heat it in a pan. You can easily pop it into the microwave oven and heat it for about 5 to 6 seconds, and then add in a little bit into the nuts along with some sugar syrup.
Now we going to melted butter in the filo pastry.
Okay. So guys, you can see how our chef is aligning the pastries with the melted butter.
Then on top, one more.
Okay, so guys, the layering of the puff pastries is the most important part, and you can see how our chef is generously applying melted butter onto layers of pastries.
Then we put the nuts
Okay.
on top, one side.
And guys, once you've layered the pastries with some melted butter, place some pistachio nuts, a generous helping of pistachio nuts on one side.
Then we're rolling.
Okay. And guys, this is the most important step where you have to roll the pistachios into the layers of puff pastry. And you can see how carefully our chef is doing it. And the butter
Then
that
you
we've...
put cooking pan like that.
Okay. And do we have to preheat the oven before we add these as well?
Yes,
Okay.
same cookies before we heat.
So guys, just like we baked the cookies, make sure that you've preheated the oven for at least an hour at 150 degrees centigrade. At 150 degrees centigrade. And chef,
Now-
for how long do we have to bake these for?
This one 220 degrees centigrade, not 50.
Okay, okay. So guys, make sure that you bake these at 220 degrees centigrade. And how long are we supposed to bake these for?
25 minutes.
Okay, and the baking time is just 25 minutes. So while you're preparing other items for iftari, you can easily leave them in the oven and you can get the rest of the dishes prepared. And it is a wonderful recipe, especially if you have an iftar dinner planned. This could be a wonderful sweet dish, and I'm sure it's going to look as beautiful as it's going to taste. And whenever we think about sweet dishes, especially in iftari, we usually think that they're going to be very heavy, or we might end up having a stomach ache. But this is something which is very light and it's healthy as well, especially for people who like eating a lot of nuts, especially pistachios. This is the perfect recipe for you. And I hope you guys are taking note of how our chef is layering the pastries. He's made 2 layers of pastries and applied a very generous amount of melted butter on top of them. Then he's adding the filling, which is pistachios, and they're mixed with melted butter and sugar syrup. And especially in Ramzan, we usually worry about the preparation time and after that the cooking time. So this is a very easy recipe. It's very simple. All of the ingredients that are used are very simple. And if you are a fan of baking, this is a perfect recipe that you can bake for your loved ones. You can even eat it in sehri or in iftari. It's going to be very light, and at the same time it's going to be delicious as well.
Before you cook, melted butter on top again with burush.
So guys, before you pop these into the oven, make sure that you brush melted butter on top of these pastries.
Then you, before cooking, cut before.
Okay. So guys, before you start baking them, cut the pastries into smaller sizes.
Now we're going to bake 20 minutes to 120 degree.
And guys, we are going to bake these pastries now in a preheated oven that has been left for an hour to preheat at 220 degrees centigrade. And we are going to leave them in there for at least 20 minutes. So guys, our 20 minutes are over, and I really hope that you guys are enjoying today's special episode where Chef Ali is baking some wonderful goodies for us. And I'm sure that our 20 minutes are done, and Sadaf will be on her way, and she will be bringing the pastries that our chef has prepared. And guys, you can see how beautifully our pastries have been baked, and it was a very easy recipe. It was very simple, and at the same time it's something very delicious and very different, especially for iftari. A lot of people, they have a craving for something sweet, so this is the perfect thing that you can bake for your loved ones, for your families. And if you have an iftar dinner planned, a grand iftar dinner planned, the cookies and the puff pastry are going to go really well for your dinner. And apart from that, you can see how delicious both of these items look, and Chef Ali has shared some wonderful techniques, recipes and tricks with us today. Baking is also an art, and I know a lot of people, they get scared when it comes to baking, but it's all about practice. Practice makes a man perfect, and if you have such wonderful and easy recipes with you, there's nothing to worry about. I really hope that you guys give us your feedback, try these recipes out and tell us how you're benefiting from our show. And guys, you can see for yourself how beautiful, crispy and delicious our pastries look. They have been baked to absolute perfection. Guys, I had a wonderful time working with Chef Ali and Sadaf of Serena Hotel Islamabad, and you can see the wonderful goodies they have baked for us. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did. Do try these recipes out. We've come up with something different. In every episode, we have different dishes for you, and in some, we teach you something that you can have for breakfast and sehri, and the rest are all about iftari. And today, it was a special episode that was related to baked goodies, and I really hope that you guys do try these recipes out. Thank you so much, Chef Ali and Sadaf, for joining us today. It was a pleasure working with you guys, and hope all of us have a blessed Ramzan.